welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Monday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We're live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, on YouTube, as well as wherever you get your podcasts. Matt Iwanyk with you here. Jasmine Sidhu with us again after almost a week off.
Yeah.
Almost a week off. You were missed.
I missed you guys and the Nasties. Yeah.
And the party.
And Murray
the party.
McCourt from the VIP Golf Show and the Ranch Golf and Country Club. You did miss the party, but we're having our own little party today.
Okay.
It's Murray's last hangout for the holidays.
So I have a tradition. We have to have a cocktail.
So cheers to everyone there.
Cheers.
It's I couldn't take part with this tradition last year, and I was very sad.
I was sad you couldn't indulge with us.
But you and Gager, you guys took care of it.
Yes, we sure did. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, we had our Christmas party. It was amazing. It was a wonderful night.
Yes.
We sorry. You had your 3 Christmas parties.
Yeah, it wasn't 2, it was 3.
How was that?
It was great. I overindulged. I was saying I bought these pants before and they fit me fine, and now they're hurting me a lot.
You could have worn sweatpants today.
No way. That's a Friday thing.
You would never be caught dead with sweatpants
I would.
on the hangout.
But at the leisure, absolutely. I've
On the
worn them.
hangout?
Yeah. They were like cool ones. One time I wore leather ones. Okay, don't even get me
Leather
started.
sweatpants?
Yeah.
I don't
Never
remember
heard
leather.
of
Yeah,
leather sweatpants.
she's got all the bougie sweatpants.
Oh my gosh.
It's a Friday thing. Today I'm obviously in business.
Yeah, you always.
Casual.
Well, you also just care about the look. You always want to be presentable.
Yes, I always want to be presentable and prepared, which I'm not prepared today.
I also I don't think you would ever I think if you went to a grocery store, you would not do a quick in and out unless you were dressed appropriately in your eyes.
Okay.
Correct or no?
Well, you got to wear nice at the leisure, and you throw on a wool coat with some nice kicks.
And what is the material in these pants? 'Cause these
No,
pants are
I don't
very
even, it's like a blazer
fascinating.
material, right?
Yeah,
I
like-
don't even know.
Like almost like some carpets. Like
Yeah.
Like a fancy bougie carpet.
I will take that as a compliment.
Yeah. It's pretty
They're warm. It's a cool day today.
It's gonna be a cold
Finally.
week.
Is that crazy? Finally, how the temperature just dipped? I know. You know what, though? If it makes you feel any better, I was in Vancouver, as I mentioned, and it was raining. It was dark. People had their lights on during the day. It's just weird. And they had a windstorm, and the power went out for a lot of people.
What?
My friend, her power went out at 10:30 a.m. She didn't get power back till 8 o'clock. 8 p.m. Can you believe it? And she had a Christmas party, so she had to do her makeup with her phone flashlight.
Man, that's a long time for the power to be out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get it together, BC.
I was gonna say like that. I didn't mind the rain and the dark. I would take rain
You
and
would.
dark over cold.
With the sunshine and cold and blue sky. Did you see the moon?
Yeah, the moon
Did you
is
see the moon today? It's
spectacular. Yeah.
gorgeous.
I don't want this cold. Today it's minus 16. Okay, tomorrow minus 19 is a high. Wednesday minus 19 a high. Both of those 2 days have snow in the forecast as well. So it's not like
They
we're getting the
do?
sun.
And also means
Christmas.
I have to shovel a bunch in freezing cold weather, so I don't like that either.
Good workout.
Do you have a snowblower?
No, I just shovel.
With the arm, it's all good.
Yeah, my arm's it's getting close to better. I mean,
Good.
if I can lift a whole bunch of weights all the time and do a whole bunch of push-ups, I can shovel snow.
I was going to say, and he was during the golf tournament, you were walking. You didn't sit in the cart.
Yeah.
You walked to the next
And carried my clubs.
Yes, and carried your clubs. That's what
I'm
it
a
was.
fitness junkie.
Yeah, so I believe that.
Thursday minus 16, Friday minus 16, Saturday plus 4, Sunday plus 4. Please hold on for that. I just don't want. Give me minus 5 to minus 10 all winter. I don't need it to go above 0.
Yeah.
I will sacrifice the above 0 if it just doesn't go below minus 10. Give us a nice minus 5, minus 10 range the entire winter, and I'm good. I'm happy. You won't hear complaints out of me.
So here's a question for you guys about that then, because so far this winter, I've been feeling really cold. It's like minus 10 or 12, and I'm just, oh my God, this is terrible. I can't handle it. But is it because we haven't had a deep freeze
Yes.
yet? If we got a minus 30, minus 12 would feel like a dream, but we haven't had that minus
We had a little. It
spell
was
yet.
pretty cold before this warm spell. We got it was like minus
Well,
5,
it was-
15, minus 16, minus 17.
But that's not minus 30.
Yeah, I know. Well, that comes in January.
Yeah, let's hope not.
It always
'Cause
comes in
that's-
January.
But then minus 12 feels good. And so far, I'm like minus 12, like today, it's like, oh, this is bitterly cold. I don't like it. But it's not really that cold.
I got good news though for Saturday.
Minus 4.
Nope.
Oh,
It was
better.
plus 4. I got better news than plus 4 on Saturday. I think it's 2:20 a.m. on Saturday. It's the winter solstice, which means the days start getting a little bit more sunlight every single day.
That is good news. I like
Isn't
it.
it? It's all uphill from there. We've almost done it. We're almost through the darkest day of the year.
Yeah.
And then it's just all more sunshine coming up.
Yeah, because
So,
you really think
boom.
about it.
That's
Once
good
we
news.
hit the new year, like March isn't. It can be winter still a little bit here and
I
there, but
hate
it's
March.
starting to kind of warm up a
love
little bit. I mean, we've opened the freaking golf course in March before.
Oh.
March 27th, I want to say, is the earliest opening day we've ever had. So, I mean, January, February is 2 good months of winter left, and then hopefully,
January sucks.
yeah.
January's awful.
January
No, 'cause
does
January's,
suck.
there's always that 1 week of for sure deep cold.
Yeah.
It's awful. It sucks.
And there's no joy. There's no Christmas cheer anymore. It's just back to real
Christmas
life.
is
right?
over. and
It's-
just,
Yeah.
Awful. February's hit and miss. February either is like a continuation of January, or sometimes it can be rather mild, but it's whatever. It's February.
but
28 days.
You're reaching the end of winter in February.
But March, why I hate March
But why?
is that I get the tease of spring,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not enough. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those where I know that big snowfall could still come and ruin things, or the fact that like all things just like last year was like March. We got into March and it was really nice, but we didn't get nice enough that all the snow could melt and courses could open earlier. It was just cold enough,
Yeah.
that everything stayed, and I just like I'm just done with it by March. I'm just over. I'm just like, give me spring, give me nice weather. Let me go outside on a more consistent basis. I absolutely hate March because it's almost over.
But we have March Madness. So you just sit on the couch, be a couch potato for a bit, you know?
I'm gone for 2 weeks in March this year.
Are you?
I'm going to Mexico myself. I can't wait
Nice.
because to me, it's the perfect time. I could get through January. Feb's just a short month, as I said. Who cares?
2 weeks in Mexico?
10 days.
Okay.
But I'm taking 2 weeks off from here.
Okay.
Are you really gonna be able to do that? Because like even that you did a staycation, whatever it was, like a month or two ago, and from my understanding, all you did was listen to Edmonton Sports Talk all day on your couch instead of actually
No.
being here.
No, I don't
No,
listen
that's
on
not-
when I'm gone.
Oh, that's
I
not
shut
what
off-
the other guys were saying.
I shut off the station completely.
Well, good for you.
I've done this from back at the old place. When I go away on like longer vacation, when I
Did Dusty
go away,
approve that trip?
Dusty's aware of it. The HR Daddy's aware of it. The staff here aren't aware of it just yet. When I go away, like if it's a single day, like I'm off tomorrow. I have a single day tomorrow, needed to kill a day. I'll throw us on. I have no problem with that. When I'm gone for an extended period of time, I want to cut away because I'm off. Like and I'm still like, I'm off in the sense of, I know if somebody texts me or email me, I will answer.
Yeah.
If Dusty, like Eric has a big question, he texts me, I'm going to answer. I'm not going to be like, screw off, I'm off or something like that. So I know I'm going to have to work a little bit, just like you're going to have to do, or you do when you're going to Mexico
absolutely.
soon too. So because of that, it's like, I want to cut away. Because if I throw on EST, something's going to happen. I'm like, we got to fix that. Or, we gotta do that. And I know I need to cut off. So I do actually am shut off of work. I don't turn on EST. I didn't turn on
what do you
1260 when
turn
I'm
on?
gone.
What do you listen to? A music guy or
In my car, like if I'm driving?
podcast or
On vacation, I guess,
yeah,
right?
like, yeah. What do you?
I don't need a list. Like
The ocean waves.
if I'm in Mexico, I won't listen to much music. I could read a book. I could just enjoy the ocean. I don't need to listen to. I don't need to listen to a podcast. I don't need to listen to anything. I don't think.
Yeah. Well,
We'll
I
find
guess I
out.
don't listen on vacation either. But in your car though, when you did your staycation, what you
CKUA, CJSR are my two favorite radio stations.
never
Love
heard of
them. CJSR's community. CKUA is one of the longest standing radio stations I think in the country.
CKUA.
It's was the university.
All right, learned something new about Maddie Iwanyk today.
Eric put me on those. They're great. I love those two stations. CJSR is like this, like on Saturdays, they have 3 straight shows that are like EDM type music.
Okay, all right.
It goes Eric, I think, left, but I think he'll come back. I think it goes Catch the Beat, 4 to 6. 6 to 8's DJ David Stone, and 8 to 10 is Trans Nation. Really good Saturday night. You want to get partying on a Saturday night? CJSR. Throwing it up to 88.5, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know back in the day they would have like a DJ spinning on like the weekend on the radio. They'd be like hip hop, like, you know.
I used to do that version.
6 to 7 and 7 to 8. They'd throw in the EDM. This is awesome.
CJSR is all over the place. Wednesdays they have a blues show.
Yeah.
Friday nights there's a Jamaican show.
Nice.
Friday afternoons there's metal.
Oh, I'm turning that one off.
Hard metal. Like there's not a lot of people that play that type of metal. It's great. It's all over the place. It's because it's community radio when anyone could sign up for a radio show type thing. And it's just it's the innocence of radio still existing. That's why I love them.
The innocence of radio.
I respect that.
Do you work when you're off? Or are you good at cutting it off?
I can cut it off, but the thing is, because I'm an original nasty, I still listen to EST.
But not this work. Like your other job.
No, I actually do. I have to cut it off.
Yeah?
I have to.
We don't. Yeah. It's just, you mentally.
Yeah, mentally, and just I don't think about it. But there is times where there would be an emergency maybe, and like I will get a message that I have to deal with. But yeah, I mean, we should all disconnect from work. There's a reason there's a vacation time for us.
There was a law, I think it's in France, that they put in or were trying to put in that said you are not required to answer an email or anything off your hours. They completely shut it off.
Yeah, no one's required to, but I mean, man, like there's no way in the world.
I think there's a lot of
can't
jobs
do it.
out there that there's an expectation that if an email gets sent at 8 o'clock at night, you're responding.
That's awful, hey? Like, I have friends that are managers in healthcare and stuff, and they have to check their phones on vacation.
The smartphone has killed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
We're
hard
too
to
connected
survive.
now.
Yeah,
Did you see Florida, under 14 years old, they're going to implement a law where you can't have social media? As of yesterday, I believe?
There's ways around that.
It has to be.
Is social media that bad that?
Social media is that bad, though,
I
for
agree.
everybody across the board.
I think as a kid, too, like that's where some extra cyberbullying could come from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what you're doing on social media. Though.
Yes. And like beauty expectations and all these things, right? Or like people looking at a world where you're like, oh, they have a perfect life. And you like, that is not the way that their life is in real life.
But yeah, Instagram, I saw it. Like Instagram is the thing. Everyone curates their best of their life.
Yeah.
No one shows you the worst of their life on Instagram. But everyone looks at it and they think, oh, this person, look how perfect their life is.
Legit.
Man, like I use social media to follow my favorite sports teams. The Blackhawks, I follow every single one of their media guys. I follow every one of the Dallas Cowboys media guys. And so I'm getting all this information about the Hawks prospects and that, and then fitness stuff and healthy eating stuff. I mean, that's what I use social media for. I mean, I'm not, I don't know. Maybe I use social media.
You're not a 14-year-old in junior high.
Well, that's
having
true.
to follow all your friends.
Yeah, or stalking that guy you like.
You probably still do that.
Yeah, all women are usually FBI.
Yeah, I know.
There was actually a great SNL skit from a few years ago. It just came up on my YouTube. It was with Sydney Sweeney, I think, where there was like a cop investigation thing and they added the 2 new people.
The girls.
And it was the 2 girls just on their phone. Like, we're looking for this one person. Found him. We went to his Facebook page and then we saw this and they're like, there's all these connections.
There's that voice again from last Monday when you were doing your TikTok stuff. Yeah.
Oh, but it was actually really funny. Just like, so his Facebook account was blocked, but we found his mom and his mom was posting. So we went through here and he was here. And yeah, don't mess with women.
Okay, so you know what's
Exactly.
crazy?
They will find you out through the internet.
Yeah.
I wonder if our phones actually hear our conversations, because after our big TikTok conversation last week, you want to know what started popping up on my freaking TikTok feed is this 40-something-year-old woman, and it shows a video of her like walking in her house, says, here's what a mid-40s single woman does in her evenings or whatever. And just, and I do my skincare and I look through my TikTok and I make a sandwich. And I'm like, Why is this coming up on my feed? It's your fault because
Hey, fam, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
You're your day of my life.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is. Oh, and there's another one that started popping up too, where this single girl is saying, if you're a single girl, here's the best way to spend a Friday night. And she goes through how to spend a Friday night if you're a single girl. And then best way to spend a Sunday as a single girl. And it goes through all this. And I'm just like, okay, skip. How is this on my feed? I blame you now. It's all your fault that came
They
on
are
my feed.
absolutely listening.
They're
It doesn't
always
make
listening.
sense how that just mysteriously pops up on my feeds when we had conversation about it on the freaking Hangout, and it comes up in my TikTok feed.
My phone has, I think, at least 2 microphones. I think there's a microphone on the bottom, and I think there's a microphone at the top.
Yeah, it's
Your phone has multiple, at least 1 microphone. Your phone has your Samsung too.
Yeah, I was saying.
You have probably 2 microphones.
Yeah.
They're absolutely listening. They know everything we're doing,
yes, it's unbelievable,
and we
that
allow
came
it.
up.
And we allow it because we carry this with us, and we do it.
Yeah,
It's like you just need to be mindful. For example, if I'm like hanging out with some of my friends, I notice that they'll pull out their phone and they're just like scrolling Instagram. Like, what are you doing? Like, we're hanging out. Put your phone away. And like personally myself, I have a little window where I'll go on Instagram once a day.
Really?
Yep. And I have moved that icon. I have no desire to hit it otherwise. I do go on Twitter and X a bit though. More for information, but like IG, absolutely not. Just so you guys know, so this weekend I have a lot of videos I made because I was living in the moment at my Christmas parties and hanging out with my family and stuff. And I was like, I'm not posting them on IG because then other stuff comes up and maybe I don't want to miss it. B, I don't want to be like rude and not like something that, maybe it's a friend posted, whatever it is. So hopefully today I'm going to like post all my stuff, but I'm mindfully doing that. Because I wanted to live in the moment and not just pull out my phone and put a filter on and then go hashtag blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I just wanted to live in the moment and relax. It's been hectic lately. So it's all here. You guys can be mentally strong.
But that's such a good point. You're hanging out with your family and stuff. Enjoy your family. I mean,
live in
we're
the
all.
moment.
I mean, if my wife was listening to me say that, she'd be like, "Huh?" Because if the Blackhawks are playing, I'm like,
Okay, but when it comes to the Oilers, that's
hearing
different.
every single, reading everything that every media guy is posting about what's going on in the game, and like, hello,
Yeah.
your family's here. Yeah, but the Blackhawks are playing. Like, period break is 4 minutes till the period break. Then we'll hang out a little bit.
No, that's legit.
So there is a thing on Samsung where you could add timers for your apps. So you could limit how much you're allowed to use said app. So if I go to Instagram, I could set it for like, okay, I'm just gonna click YouTube because here we go. YouTube set timer. I could set it for as little as a minute a day to as much as 23 hours and 59 minutes a day.
Well.
And you can set which days you want. So you can set a timer so that if you go up, it won't let you open it anymore. The only problem I have noticed with it is there is a snooze button. I've used it before. And so you could easily just be like, well, snooze.
I don't feel like it. Yeah.
But there is, like, that's one thing that they do have is that you could set it for any app. You could set how much time you want to allow yourself any given day to use said app. And they have a nice little screen time. So it shows you how much. I think Apple, I know Apple has that one too.
Yeah, I get a
where it sees how much
Yeah,
every
I
week
like
have.
that.
says how much screen time I averaged.
With the Samsung, I actually used to have it on my, I set it as a widget. So it shows you all the time how much it is. And you go, oh, I've been on my phone for 3 hours already today. That's not good.
No.
Yeah.
I should maybe go off of this.
That's right.
Well, it's actually mind blowing. I get that notification every Sunday, and I would say I average around like 4 hours a day. It says of screen time. And I'm like,
Wow.
what?
And then
That's a lot of time.
You'll see why. Like, what the heck am I on it for?
Well,
Mine's usually
which reminds
WhatsApp
me,
though.
there's a curling
Chatting
game right
away.
now. I got to see
Is
the
that more
score.
than anything else? Oh, well, because you're Android.
LTE.
I need to convince
tagged
my
me in a
family to
photo.
on there.
What's
My
that to do?
dad and I are the only two that aren't iPhone.
Yeah, everybody I know has an iPhone, but people that are actually tech savvy are Android, let alone Samsung. Yeah.
Anything Apple has,
Yeah.
Samsung had it 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I will die on that hill.
The only thing they legit have is the iMessage.
Yeah, and
But there have been talks about the idea of Apple letting Samsung use the stuff to allow iMessage on Samsungs. And it's not Samsung, or I guess it's Google, because Google owns Android. It's not Samsung.
Yeah.
They want to open it up and be like, hey, but there's WhatsApp, so you could always just go to WhatsApp and do the same thing.
WhatsApp's just so good, and it's encrypted. It's just a great source to message all sorts of phones and around the world. What?
I don't use it enough.
You don't, hey?
Like, no one I know that uses, like, I'm not in any single group where it's like, let's use WhatsApp.
People are kind of forced to because of me. I know a lot too because of that.
Well,
It ruins videos.
part of a networking.
Then not WhatsApp, the regular texting.
I'm part of a networking group called Corporate Connections, and like I'm in so many WhatsApp chats and you know what? I actually don't like it because you're in so many chats and you just keep getting notification. I'm like, come
Mute
on.
them.
Well,
Yeah, you can mute individual chats.
Yeah, like I mute Maddie. Just kidding.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Kidding.
I
He doesn't
don't-
even text me back.
I don't look
Like,
at it.
hello.
It's just another thing. It's just
First
another
you mute
thing.
me, and the second you say I'm not texting you back.
You just text me. Don't put something in WhatsApp.
I know.
Yeah.
I
don't-
get it.
I don't
I
like
get
WhatsApp
that.
for that reason. Just if you want to talk to me, talk. But so what happens in WhatsApp if you got 8 million people that are members of it and they're putting stupid stuff that's like, I don't need to see that.
But that's where you can mute the individual
Yeah, you just mute
conversation.
it.
You can mute that
Wow.
conversation, so that conversation doesn't show up as a notification. And anytime you open up WhatsApp, you can still go in and look at it. So you can go scroll through whatever you need. So you could do that like, once a day. You're going to go check that group and take a look. You
If
don't
you
get the
feel like it.
notifications because you muted it, and it doesn't bother you all day.
Yeah. Well, okay. I need to get smarter with phones in.
Like, I will never let my mom have an Android.
I was just thinking about that. as
My
well.
dad,
Yeah.
he doesn't do anything on his phone, so I don't care that he has an
Yeah.
Android because he's just going to make calls, go on like Twitter or something. He's not going to try to do anything more crazy. I don't want my mom on it because it's like I want it to be the most basic thing. And to me, that's Apple. Apple is click this button, you got what
Yeah,
you
it's
need.
very user friendly.
User friendly, very simplistic. It's wonderful for that. For everyone else, you're a little ahead of me on that.
Yeah. Well, you guys are talking too much.
For everyone else, like I like the idea of just moving certain things around or the customization of
Yeah.
it. Knowing that I'm not forced to do what I'm being forced to do. Apple forces you to do certain things, and I just don't like that. Although
Yeah, it
I will
forces you to buy chargers. And
I will never give up my MacBook.
I have MacBook too. Because
Straight
I
up.
actually do like using the MacBook.
I won't touch a PC. I will only touch a MacBook.
You
I
guys
got
are,
both,
You guys are
but-
such nerds.
The MacBook, see, here's the thing. I download a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I have never had, I've had one issue with a MacBook, which was
have.
easily corrected. But I've never had an issue downloading a MacBook. I have destroyed PCs. I have, as a kid, destroyed my family PC.
Well, what are you downloading?
Videos, music, all sorts of things. But it's not exactly, like LimeWire was not the best for your computer.
Yeah.
Did you use LimeWire?
Oh, well, obviously.
Okay, well, just-
Best. Burn that CD, baby.
Kazaa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's old school stuff.
Napster.
I
Napster was the first.
never used Napster.
Yeah, I never even heard of that one.
No?
No.
Oh, Napster was the OG?
Yeah, the OG, the very
They
first.
started off
The OG?
original.
Oh,
Original.
Jesus.
Original, you can say original gangster if you wanted to.
Oh my gosh. You guys are nerds. You guys are real.
No, that's the
like-
lingo of the kids these days.
Wow.
It's the
Oh,
OG.
man. We're trying to stay young.
Oh, okay.
That one I don't even feel like I'm staying young. I just feel like that it just works.
Okay.
But it's
Then
the
I'm
origi-
just that old. I get
it's
it. I
the-
get
But
it.
Napster was the original OG that started the piracy of music. That I think it was like Metallica maybe or some other people came after Napster. And Napster had to deal with the first legal issues. But then like LimeWire, Kazaa came out after that. And then that all kind of faded away at some point. Pirate Bay, which is still going.
Still going. I love Pirate Bay. So when I like the beauty of Androids, we don't have to keep talking about this because I don't want Apple people to come at me. But like when I go on vacations and stuff,
MacBook, we talked about it. We're Apple.
yeah,
people.
we're still like both. Because you know what, we can be both.
Yes.
It's just like when I'm on vacation stuff, I can just download something and just put it on the hotel TV. Boom. High def, everything's all good to go. It's streaming in the back. I love it. Or
that makes
casting.
sense.
Yeah. But with Apple, you can't really necessarily do that, right?
It's a little more difficult with
It
the
is more
AirPlay.
Yeah, it is with AirPlay.
The only thing I've noticed, I switched because I have a Chromecast that I plugged into my TV.
Yeah.
I switched to a 4K one on my TV. And ever since I now can't cast stuff from my computer because on VLC, you could cast stuff to your Chromecast.
Yeah.
Now it won't cast.
Update your software.
I've updated everything.
Oh, sorry.
This is like Chinese
Everything
to
is
me right now.
fully updated. And for whatever reason, it
like,
won't cast. And I'm trying to figure this out. And it just won't work. And I can't now cast from my laptop to my main TV
Sometimes you
with
need to
this 4K.
restart it.
I've done everything.
Yeah, I believe you have.
I got to go through like certain settings. I'm trying to figure out if there's a setting change you have to make. So casting is basically just like. So I don't know if you've ever seen this logo.
What's the real word for casting?
It's called cast. It's
It's
casting.
casting.
Oh,
It's the word.
Yeah.
So there's
Okay.
this image right there next to the play.
yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
That means it's the cast. So you could, like on YouTube, I could cast what I'm watching on my phone to any TV that's able to accept said cast.
Wow.
So in here we have a lot of Androids. There's the main TV, which I for some reason labeled the living room TV, and then my office, Matt's office. So I could cast the Hangout onto those by just clicking that button, press play, and they'll be on those TVs through my phone.
Holy. See, I am dumb at that type
You're
of
not
technology.
dumb at it. If we
Holy.
it's quite easy.
But some of
That's
these
very
words, like this OG thing, my 6-year-old kid the other day says, we're having a conversation. He goes, "That's sus."
Yes, this is the
a good
word
one.
that I'm trying
like,
my best to use. But
Sus is easy to use.
yeah, it is.
Oh,
but
I didn't know what it
ages us.
meant. What do you mean that's sus? What does sus mean? I didn't know what he was talking about.
Suspicious.
Wow.
Suspicious. Yes. Like
How
mid.
how does an old man like me know that? I don't know. I'm
Wow.
out of touch. But now I know. So now I could.
It just makes sense. Why say suspicious when I could say sus?
Wow. It's
quicker.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It's easier.
And you sound like you're down.
Yeah. And,
It's not mid at all.
Oh my god. You guys.
We're trying.
You're
We're
making
trying
me
to stay
feel
cool.
old right now.
It's very easy. Right now, I'll say that at my age, I feel like it's very easy to stay connected with most of the lingo. Most.
How old are you?
33, almost 34.
Oh boy.
I will not disclose my age.
Green chicken.
I-
I'm not going to ask you. That'd be rude.
You know.
Yeah, that'd be rude.
What's
I'm not
the
going to be
one word? It starts with like a D or something. Decor? I don't know. There's that one word I still don't understand what it means.
You want to top up?
Oh yeah.
VR Montenegro mentioned it. Like last week when he did one of the things. It starts with like a D or something. Whatever. Someone will pop it up. That's the only one lingo I still just don't understand. But you're on TikTok.
Yeah, but
You
what
should
I-
be able to understand the lingo.
What
of the
I
kids.
like on TikTok is fitness videos.
Demur. Thank you, Big Uke.
Demur. How come I didn't know that?
I still don't understand demur.
Yeah,
That's
I
one
do
I-
not use it.
I don't understand it at all.
Consciously, again, I'm like, no.
One day maybe I'll figure that one out, but I won't get into that one. Big Uke. Murray's sitting there thinking, casting, what are you, a wizard?
That's good. Thank you.
Murray, just stick around. Jasmine and I will take care of you.
Yeah.
And Tommy when Tommy's here.
Exactly.
Because he's staying hip with the lingo as well.
He's
All right.
trying his best.
Well,
but sometimes
was
he's
so
kind of just
excited
old
about
man
mid.
stuff. Oh,
Mid?
He was so excited when he dropped mid on the Hangout a couple weeks ago.
What does mid mean?
like average.
Yeah, it's mid.
It's mid.
It's so
Like this-
basic. That's
this-
so
It's
like,
Basic. There
it's
you
so
go.
Basic, but
Basic
it's
is a
like-
good word.
Like this wine is not mid.
No, this one is fire.
It's good. Yeah.
They, like
This one is fire. See?
It's fire. See, but I understood what that meant. Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
My performance today is mid. Like that type of stuff. My bowling was actually sub mid. I was awful on bowling on Friday.
What was
So
your
let's take the
score?
nasties
By the
through.
way, Sentinel,
through Friday.
I do have to mention EST Hangout. It is brought to you by Sentinel Storage. Canada stores extra with more than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. Sentinel.ca to find locations nearest you. Sorry, Jasmine. You wanted to know about...
Hold on, Matthew Kachuk chimed in. Matthew Kachuk is in the nasty chat.
Perfect, as he always is.
He goes, "Hey, I recognize this girl. She came down to Florida for Game 7 to cheer me on. Hey,
Oh my god.
we gotta get into that game too.
We will.
As a yeah,
The
I
game
feel
tonight or
yeah.
the game 7?
No, well,
Because that's old news.
exactly it is.
Yeah.
But I still feel triggered.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I'm not gonna lie. I've been a little anxious today.
I think we can now move on from it because
Yeah.
of the Panthers. But people still cared about the Hurricanes. 06 mattered.
That hurt.
And
Yeah.
I think now we're going to move on this city from the Hurricanes. I think people
Now-
are going to forget about 06 because now they're going to focus on the Panthers.
Yes.
I realized that today when I heard an ad for the game, and I went, you know something? Fans are going to really hate the Panthers for a long time. Maybe people will move on from the Hurricanes because they'll focus on the more recent one.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you.
But it hurts,
It hurts.
especially when you drop some money to fly down to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's in person.
But
In
why
person.
why do you have to hate them?
What?
I mean, why do you have to hate Florida?
because
Because they
they
took the championship away from the Oilers.
and they talked a bunch of shit. What is it? December still about us.
What's that got to do with this?
I don't know. I try to do that whole not to swear, like swear twice a month kind of thing.
who was talking shit about you?
The Panthers were talking
shit about us.
of the Oilers.
Yeah, after the win, when they were doing their speeches, making fun of our city.
I think there's when you lose to a team in a championship, there's a reason to hate them. It's because they took the championship from you.
It was Kachuk, by the way.
Can we all just get along?
No,
Be
it's sports.
respectful.
It's
Be
sports.
respectful.
Do you like the Eagles?
No,
Why?
because they suck.
Because they're in the same division as the
won
Dallas Cowboys.
yesterday.
Do you like the Washington Commanders?
No.
Do you like the New York Giants?
No.
Exactly, because they're in the same division. What does a division have
But
to
it
do with
doesn't mean
it?
I don't hate them.
Hey, okay,
Well, I mean,
you're not as vicious of a sports fan then. I hate teams. I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I
hate
the
Canucks.
Calgary Flames.
There you go.
I hate the Calgary
There
Flames,
you
but they're
go.
not a rival to the Blackhawks. I hate the
And
Calgary
you know
Flames.
what?
Just I hate the Calgary.
Canucks. They beat the Panthers 4-0 the other day.
Panthers have got shut out twice in a row,
Back to
have they
back.
not?
Vancouver, Calgary.
So it's a lot of pressure
They're
today.
a pissed off team coming into
Yeah.
Rexall
Yeah.
tonight or Rogers
Yeah.
tonight. Sorry,
Yeah, that's what I mean. The
They
stakes are high.
Pissed off.
The stakes are high.
The stakes are not high. It's a regular season game.
But there's still a thing about ego, okay? I don't give I shouldn't
if-
say the word again. 'cause
The Oilers are playing great.
They are. They're
Florida's a good
They're
team.
probably the hottest team right
they
now.
are the
If-
hottest team right now.
If they lose tonight, it's okay. The
Look,
sun's going to come up tomorrow.
It's okay
It doesn't matter.
in an analytic perspective, but as an ego perspective and as a fan perspective, it is not okay.
Okay,
And
but-
as the Oilers, we want them to feel defeated. That, damn it, again, these guys did it. And then their confidence to go down. And Stu is a confidence-based goalie.
We need to get to Stuart a bit.
Oh, yes.
Because
Yeah, okay.
I'll say this actually, for an Oilers perspective, as a guy on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
I hope the Oilers lose tonight. In a sense, I want
They're
them,
favored, by the way.
I want them to be more pissed off against the Panthers just in case they meet them in the Stanley Cup.
Well, if they win
Because
tonight, it'll help give
I
them
don't know
more
if I agree with
confidence.
that.
Maybe I shouldn't say I hope
I don't
they
agree
lose
with
tonight.
that.
I'll say I want hope they lose tonight. I'm okay if they lose tonight because the chip then is just builds a little bit more on that Oilers team. That if they happen to meet this Panthers team in a Stanley Cup final, they'll be just a little extra pissed off. A little more pissed off. I don't think them winning today helps change anything. I'm with Murray. It doesn't affect anything moving forward. But I think if they lose tonight, and again, I got to take back, I don't hope that they lose tonight. But if they lose, I could say the benefit that I think it could come from it long term is that if these two teams meet in Stanley Cup finals, there's a little extra. These guys just keep beating us. We've really got to take them out.
Okay, so what a spot in the schedule this was, where you get division leading Minnesota, division leading Vegas, division leading Florida, back to back to back. You're already
Wilder's 7-2-1 as well going into that.
you're already 2-0 in this, and really beat them both quite handily.
They ripped it.
And man, like if 2 games ago, if you would have said, "Hey, we're going to go 2-1 in these next 3 games," you would have taken it hands down. So if you lose tonight, who cares? If you win tonight, hey, great. I mean, I want to
Doesn't
win
change-
tonight.
take away-
It
change
doesn't-
anything
it
from the
doesn't
Stanley
change
Cup
anything.
final.
No. The Stanley Cup final is over. This is just a regular season game. 2 great teams playing. I mean, it could be a Stanley Cup preview all over again.
It's like, no, I disagree. And this is the reason why I disagree. Yes, it's a regular season game, but like I said, there's more to this. This is like you knowing that your ex is going to be at a party and you need to have it going on. Okay? Because you're walking in with the cuter date, the cuter outfit, the nicer skin. Your regime is on fire.
wow.
And while that person is not on fire, all right? They're your bigger stakes, hence the ego. Oilers got to win today.
Do you think the Florida Panthers give a
like the
crap
way
about any of that?
I like where you connected it to
what
the
an
example.
Because it's like, you're seeing
It's
that person.
perfect.
They broke up with me. They broke up with me, and I need to have it going on.
wait.
I got a promotion.
I gotta give
I'm
you
pulling up in a limo.
Little golf clap for that, because that was pretty good. I like it. But the Florida
they broke up
Panthers.
with
I
you.
got bottle
They got-
service. You don't. Okay.
And you got bottle service today, courtesy of Murray. The thing is, but in the end, they still broke up with you. You didn't break up with them.
That's why you.
That's why Florida doesn't
But
care.
that's what they want
Florida
you.
doesn't care tonight.
They flutter their eyes at you like, why? Oh, I let them go, or whatever that may be, and that's what's gonna happen. The Oilers are gonna be the pretty girl at the dance.
Yeah, but Florida is the dance. They're the champs. But I don't know. Like Florida
They're the
only
prom
cares
queen
because
already.
they've lost.
That's right.
They've lost
It's
2
our
in a
turn
row.
to be the prom queen.
Florida cares because they've lost 2 in a row and they want to get back off the little schneid that they're on.
Mm.
It doesn't matter this the Edmonton Oilers. It could be the freaking Columbus Blue Jackets, and they're going to want to play and they're going to want to win this hockey
This
game. for
matters a
that
little bit
reason.
to the Panthers, I think.
Why?
Yeah,
Back
it does to them
I
too.
think if they win, they feel like this team doesn't have it against us. If we meet them in the Stanley Cup, we could once again going like, we got this team's number. Like,
Well, as
it's the
hot
same-
as Edmonton is right now, I mean,
it's the same. It's like if the Oilers and the Kings play for a 4th year in a row, which please do not give us Oilers Kings in the first round for a 4th year
please,
in a row
yeah,
in
I
the playoffs.
agree with you.
The Oilers go in knowing we've got this team's number. There's just that extra confidence, like we've got this team. And I think if the Panthers take tonight, it gives that. And I know some people are saying the Nash, if you get to the Stanley Cup final, it doesn't matter. They're just going to worry about the Stanley Cup. And I don't think that that's true at all. I think those little extra motivations help because the Cup was on the line last year and the Oilers lost still. They're going to look for that any little extra motivation. Michael Jordan made up motivation to go win. Greats do things differently. And I think for the Panthers, if they find a way to win this, if these 2 teams meet in a Stanley Cup final, there'll just be that little extra more of we know how to beat these guys. Even if we get down in a game, we know we could beat these guys, and that gives them a little extra.
Even if they lose tonight, they're still going to think that because they did it in the
They
Stanley
are,
Cup
but
final
they don't get
last
that
year.
little extra mentally.
They don't.
that
Need it.
could
They
be
already
added.
got it. They already got it.
I can always do it.
You're kind of right though. Like Florida's also coming in here with with like their whole like psychological aspect of like these are the Oilers. We're gonna make sure that they stay down and we are the best, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes. I feel like rather than a regular season game.
This is legit a chance we could sit here and call this as a potential Stanley Cup final preview.
Sure, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah,
and
true
that's where
that.
like this is no matter what team you are. Like Bills Lions yesterday. That's a Super Bowl preview. Potentially.
Hell yeah.
You're taking
Good
shots
game.
ahead of
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
into the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
This is, even though we're in December and there's a lot to go, these are shots from both teams being fired early in to potentially set up a Stanley Cup final. I fully believe that. I believe that they think about that in the locker room a little bit. I think like they will not talk like when Tommy goes in the locker room today to talk to you, they're not going to talk about Game 7 or the Cup
Hell
final.
no. And they shouldn't.
They'll be, we're looking ahead. We're
Yeah.
looking ahead. We're looking ahead. But they're
Yeah.
not going to talk about Stanley Cup final publicly either. But I'm sure these guys, both locker rooms know we're setting up for a potential Stanley Cup final matchup between each other. And we need to stake that first claim
Yeah.
for this year.
I agree.
Well, but the other side of that coin is they just played Minnesota and they just played Vegas.
Yeah.
And they're going to need to beat one of those 2 teams to
Yes.
get to play Florida in all likelihood. So, I mean, that goes back to my point that I just said a couple minutes ago, is this 3-game stretch is just outstanding for the Oilers to have these 3 games back to back to back to kind of almost, it's almost like a mini 3-game playoff series in a way.
Yeah, but it's like, well, it's almost like a bracket version. But it's one of those where like you're looking at it from a perspective, it seems like for the regular season and currently for the Edmonton Oilers. But when you look at this individual, you could also, this game against the Panthers, you could also look at it and project to the Stanley Cup and the first shot across the bow. There's the 2 ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
If the Oilers lose tonight, for currently where the Oilers are at, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
They are in a great spot. They are playing great hockey. And if you look at this 3-game set, and if we went fast, rewind to when before the Minnesota game and said the Oilers are going to take 4 to 6 points.
Bang.
We go,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Great 3-game set for the Oilers. But in terms of a potential, and again, there's a lot that happens. The Panthers need to win 12 games. The Oilers need to win 12
Right.
playoff games
That was
for that
where
to
I was
happen.
going next.
That's it. Like
Yeah.
it's not a guarantee that will happen.
Exactly, yeah.
But that shot across the bow, being the one to send it, it matters. It's going to be the same as every time the Oilers and the Golden Knights meet. There's just going to be the discussions of battle in the playoffs, battle in the playoffs. These 2
Yeah.
teams are getting set to battle in the playoffs.
Yeah, Minnesota, Winnipeg, Vegas, those teams are all saying, well, hey, the Oilers got to get through us to get there again. And, Florida's got a lineup of teams that are ready to take them down too. So, boy.
And I like this about the Oilers' regular season is because I don't care about the Oilers' regular season. I don't care about playoffs. They're in the playoffs. I've said that since before the season started.
Yeah.
I've said it throughout the entire.
You were probably a little nervous again for.
No,
I wasn't that young.
specifically.
Yeah.
I think they tweeted it. I went to
just
her and I one day
Oilers
during
being
their little
Oilers.
stretch, and I said you could tweet it.
Yeah.
The Oilers
Yeah.
will be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
type thing.
Legit.
But we're in a position where when we're talking about Oilers regular season games, we're talking about Stanley Cup final rematches or Western Conference final matchups or things like that. And that's what matters in the regular season more than anything, because they're going to be in the playoffs. They're that good, and we're seeing it.
I just hope today's game, if we lose, I would feel bad if we lose again after that. I don't want their confidence and them to be discouraged that they're an amazing team right now. They're ripping it. They're
They
doing
won't
well.
be discouraged because they're playing great right now.
Yeah, they are playing great, and I want them to keep it up. And I want this play to work today and beat Florida and be like, look, we are going to be the best. We are going to take that cup home. We are going to be the prom queen.
You just don't want the one that one seed of doubt to be planted.
Exactly.
That's where if the loss today comes, a seeded doubt is planted. Now, whether it's going to flourish or not, that's a different story. But the Panthers are able to plant that seeded doubt.
Yes, they are.
And if they lose 5-1, sure. But if they're in a barn burner of a game and it's 4-3 final
my goodness,
or an
yes.
overtime or something like that, I'm like, man,
Then it's okay.
That's two good teams
Yes.
battling it out, and it's
Good point.
And that's what I think it'll be. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a barn. I don't think Oilers are going to stomp on them. I don't think Florida's going to stomp on Oilers. I
Okay.
think it's just going to be a barn burner of a game. It's going to entertain the fans. Everyone after the game is going to be, wow,
Good point.
what a great game that was. And you know what? Maybe we won, maybe we lost, but man, we're going to be entertained by what goes on the ice.
You know what? Thank you for saying that, because again, coming from a fan perspective, that actually did not cross my mind until you just mentioned it. Because this whole time I'm just worried about losing, but I didn't worry about how we will lose or how we will win. Literally,
It's
right?
funny how you said how we will lose.
Or how we will win.
just a funny
Well, I
sentence.
mean, losing would be the
yeah.
worst case scenario, because if you were to lose in overtime or something, it's it's all good, right?
You were right there with the Stanley Cup champions again.
Yeah.
You're right there
But
with
I'll
the best
be
team
the
in the league.
opposite of that. The seeded doubt still gets planted.
Yeah, well,
It still
pisses you
gets
off.
planted. Now, again, does it get growth? I don't know. That's a different thing. The players have to make sure it doesn't get the sunlight and water that it needs to grow. But the Panthers are able to plant the seeded doubt.
Yeah.
That small one. They get to plant one. That's to me where it's. I'm not saying the Oilers have no chance if they lose tonight.
No, of
But
course not.
to me, it gives, if there was a meeting, the Panthers a little edge. Now, I don't know if they'd I'd have to look at the Oilers' schedule and stuff. The thing for the Oilers, too, though, in the end, is they will have a different team come playoffs. I've said
So
that
will
from the
Florida.
start. But the Oilers have even, there's no Evander Kane. You could argue there's no Victor Arvidsson. And there will be some sort of defender added to this team.
100%.
We all know that. We all are
Yeah, but
fully
Florida,
aware.
Florida's going to add as well. And I don't know what their current health is either, because Arvidsson's obviously not going to play tonight. But and neither will Evander Kane. But Florida might be missing some pieces too. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what their health is like.
And what was the latest on the Kane? It was he hasn't skated yet. I think that was the latest I saw.
Yeah,
when
but
it
he's
comes
hanging
to
around the
Evander Kane.
team a
Yeah.
lot,
I see he's
so-
still around a lot more, it seems.
Yeah,
a little bit
so
more.
that probably means he's getting closer. But I mean,
Which is not good
I
for me.
would need
For cap reasons.
Yeah, the cap reasons. I don't know exactly where the Oilers are at with that, and if he's healthy enough to come back, say in February.
No.
Yeah.
Hold off.
Yeah, I know.
Do the whole cap thing here, Oilers.
Yeah.
Hold off,
Yeah.
That's so I'm glad he's not skating yet. Because the moment he starts skating, you're like, crap.
Yeah.
Now they have to figure out the cap thing here. Stay away. Stay off the ice. Oilers and Panthers, just by the way, they will meet February 27th out in Florida.
Okay.
Again. So this is
When's
the first
the
of
trade
two.
deadline? It's after that.
It is. It's March. I want to guess it's March 7th based on the
Right
schedule.
around there would makes sense.
Yeah, Nasty's, they're I get it. This is not playoffs are still far away. That's not what I'm saying.
It is March 7th, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
okay.
you're brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at the
7th.
schedule. But thank you. I am.
It's just a psychological thing. We want the boys to just be like, yeah, we beat these guys and just keep on this heater. I'm just saying it would just suck going against that team that took you down when, it was all or nothing.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with you that beating them tonight would help elevate them a little bit, but I don't think a loss would knock them down at all. I really don't.
It doesn't, but if you get this first loss and then you lose Feb 27th, Panthers got the 0-2 going into
Yeah,
the playoffs.
absolutely.
That's the thing. And you can't go 0-2 if you win the first.
And they're in our barn
fair.
this time, right?
Fair. And the Oilers are playing well. They're playing really well.
Let's take a look at the hottest teams in hockey.
They're just so much fun
Based
to
on the
watch.
last 10.
I'm just like so giddy now watching
You're
them.
so
Like,
giddy.
hey, yeah.
But so here's an interesting question: is like 2 years in a row. I mean, they have come out of the gates not good,
Yeah, Oilers being Oilers.
not good, and so to me, I look at that and go, like, are they not properly doing what they need to do in the summertime to get prepared for the start of the season? Whether it's, eating, working out. I mean,
chemistry,
you
all
need a
those
break,
things, right?
and they went on a long playoff run, and I get that. So you need a break, but man, for 2 years in a row, for a team with this much talent to come out of the gates that slow, I question what goes on in the summer to get ready to play at the start of the season.
Somebody's not happy with McDavid's wedding.
What's that?
I was just joking that somebody wasn't happy with McDavid's wedding.
Wow, that sounds like it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I will say this. What they've done, though, is because if you go prior to the 2 years, they've had December losing streaks. December, for a long time, was a problem.
Yeah.
And they don't have that issue now.
Yeah, fair.
So they just moved up when their issue is.
When their issue is, yeah.
That's where I'll go to. There's something wrong with this organization. There's something in it, and I'll go with Bob Nicholson way. There's something in the water that this organization needs that losing month or so. I don't know why. And if for the longest time it was December, you're right. The last 2 years, though, it's been the start of the season.
Yeah, which is annoying. And it's cost them. I mean, it didn't.
It cost them division last year.
Yeah, but they still made the Stanley Cup final in spite of not winning the division. But I don't know. It's just I just find that fascinating. 2 years in a row that's been an issue.
The Oilers have won 5 straight, which is the best streak in hockey. The Capitals, they've won 4 straight. The Capitals are 8-1-1 their last 10. The Oilers are 8-2.
Ovechkin.
The Oilers are 8-2 in their last 10. And the LA Kings, probably the one team that doesn't get enough talk right now about their standings. They're 8-2 as well in their last 10.
I don't get that Kings because I don't really. Just like you said, let's not get them in the first round of the playoffs. But we all know what's going to happen if we get them in the first round of the playoffs. We're going to beat them. But it's.
Although this is the first time I would be scared. As the Oilers. I wasn't scared the first 3.
Why?
They are playing. I think they're more of an inspired team because they don't have to play that trap defense.
Well,
and this is a team that's like, I think, like, look, the Oilers have scored 97 goals this year. The Kings have scored 92. They've also only given up 76. The Oilers have given up 84. So they're still, like, they're not scoring as much as the Oilers, but they're not giving up as much. But they're a team that I think mentally, I was talking about this Gauger on 2 Guys last week. I wonder just how much mentally they're more excited about coming to the rink knowing they're playing a better style of hockey than what they're used to. Like, I think it was Kopitar. I don't know if it was at the end of last season or if it was at the start of this season. I think it was at the start of the season, and Mediavale was just commenting about, like, I'm so glad I'm not playing the 1-3-1 type thing.
right.
And
so did
I
they
just
change coaches? I'm trying to.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
who's their coach right now then? You know what? I looked up who the Washington Capitals coach was too, because I'm like, geez, they're playing so well. Who, like,
Jim Hiller,
Hiller,
who was he not their interim last year? He, I believe, replaced Todd McClellan. And then
so McClellan was the one that had the 1-3-1 system in place.
And then there might have been a coach before McClellan that had it too. And then I think, Jim Hiller took over, and Jim Hiller continued it on last season, but he was forced to because the team was built that way. And like they were already, like, to change the offense that much would be too much, or change the team that much. Jim Hiller, this year, like, their whole thing going into the offseason was, we're not playing that style anymore. And I wonder if the players are just more excited about going to the rink because they know that they're playing a little more of an offensive game.
Fun.
They're having a little more fun. And that's why I'd be more scared of seeing them. And I'm not talking just specifically about anyone of in the first round of the playoffs, is that they've got 3 straight losses to the Oilers, but now it's like, are they having a little more excitement when they go to the rink?
Yeah. Kempe, I really like. I didn't even know who he was till I went to a playoff game with the Oilers 2 years ago, and that Kempe blew my mind with how skilled he was. And I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, hockey D being him and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, he had 40 goals last year. Where am I not paying attention to this guy? But boy, oh boy, is he a player. I like him a lot.
I got to first say, portions of this hour brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Promotional products that bring a buzz. Check them out, thehighproductmarketing.com. That was a little too low. That was way too low. K. Murray, while you fill up, you'll then have to get your notes up. Oh, perfect. Oh, sweet.
It's Maddie's turn.
Friday at our Christmas party, Murray looks to me and he goes, people have been talking about Stuart Skinner. Mm-hmm. I got some numbers. Mm-hmm. The piece of paper is there.
Oh,
the
wow.
numbers are here. Jasmine didn't come prepared with numbers today.
Thanks.
Murray did.
Okay.
Round of clicks for Murray.
Listen, I did some homework because, as I've mentioned a few times. So what I do, I don't stay up very late because I get up and start working out at 4:30 in the morning. So
Flex.
I listen to the Oilers and Tommy Gazzola's post-game show while I'm working out the day after to kind of get a sense of what's going on. They beat the Tampa Bay Lightning last week 2-1. And then a big part of the conversation on the post-game show was the one goal that Stuart Skinner let in.
Yeah.
What? Like, people need to shut the hell up about
Preach.
Stuart Skinner
Preach.
being like, oh, he let in. NHL goalies let in goals. That's what they do. That happens. And then somebody texted in, and this is not just what I saw on the show. I'm reading stuff online, and people are like, oh, Oilers need to trade for a goalie. And I'm like, oh my God, people. Like, settle down. Stuart Skinner let in one goal against Tampa Bay. And somebody texts in on the show and says, is Stuart Skinner playing above expectations, meeting expectations, or below expectations? And I'm like, why is this even a question? I don't understand how this is even a question. And Hernan says, I think he's meeting expectations. I'm like, people, like, it's just driving me nuts. He is not meeting expectations. If anyone thinks that Stuart Skinner is not exceeding expectations, they need to give their head a flip and shake. And I'm going to tell you why. And I got some numbers here because this is the homework that I did. Is Stuart Skinner is in the second year of a 3-year contract, and we're going to get into some numbers here in a second, where he signed the contract. Stuart Skinner himself, his agent, they signed this contract based on he's going to be a number 2 goalie for the next 3 years. And hopefully by year 3, he'll be taking some games away from Jack Campbell and maybe be more of a 50-50 split. And then he's going to be the starter. And that 4th year, when this contract is up, what are the Oilers going to do? Are they going to get rid of Jack Campbell and Stuart Skinner to be the starter? I mean, that's what the expectation was. So now all of a sudden, things have changed. Why is it that when Stuart Skinner is supposed to be the backup goaltender right now, by what his contract says and what the Oilers tried to do, why is it that he's only meeting expectations right now? Him being the starting goalie alone right now is exceeding expectations. Throw in that he was a Calder Trophy finalist. Throw in that he was an all-star. Throw in that he was the starting goaltender taking the Edmonton Oilers to the Stanley Cup final, and he's only meeting expectations. Come on now.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the numbers.
I got some numbers here.
Wow.
I went and looked at salaries, and I did a little spreadsheet of all the starting goaltenders in the NHL. Here's a question to both of you guys. Of the 32 starting goaltenders in the NHL, where does Stuart Skinner's salary rank?
In the middle?
What number?
I was going to say like 24.
24?
I'll go with 23.
23.
It's going to be lower.
Yeah.
29.
Oh, I should have gone with 26.
He's the 29th highest paid starting goaltender in the NHL. And overall, he's number 37. He's the 37th highest paid goaltender in the NHL. So a handful of teams' backup goaltenders get paid more than Stuart Skinner does. He's the 29th highest paid goaltender, starting goaltender, and he's only meeting expectations when Calder Cup finalist, All-Star, Stanley Cup finalist, starting goaltender. People, he is far, far, far exceeding expectations.
I understand what you're saying, like the correlation with his salary, the way he's
Eric's
supposed to.
loving this, and Trev's loving this. Eric's already going Murray from the top rope. Fire emojis with.
Okay.
As fire truck.
No, you make a very good point. Very good point.
So I got to finish. I got to go a little bit deeper though, because listen, if Stuart Skinner was getting paid $6 or $7 million a year right now, okay, he's probably meeting expectations. The average starting goaltender salary is $5,177,000. $5 million. Stuart Skinner is getting paid a little over 2. He's 2.5. So listen, he's got one more year at $2.5 million. So he is a steal of a deal bargain as the starting goaltender of the Edmonton Oilers, doing everything he's doing. And I tell you this, at the end of next year's contract, at the end of next year's season, when Stuart Skinner signs again, it's probably a 3-year contract. This is my guess, 3-year contract, $6 to $7 million, people. That's what Stuart Skinner is worth. He's not worth $2.5 million. He's worth $6 or $7 million. And if he signs a 3-year, $6 or $7 million deal, that would take him till he's 29 years old. And in that contract, when he could be a UFA, then he's probably going to sign for 8 or 9 or 10 million as the salary cap goes up, if he continues to improve his game. But anyways, Stuart Skinner, 29th highest paid starting goaltender in the league.
I love
He is flipping, exceeding expectations by miles.
You have convinced me, that's for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, rant over.
At first, I'm like, Hernan is kind of right, but then you know what? Good. I'm convinced.
Unbelievable that people want to run this guy out of town. He's the 29th highest paid goaltender. He should suck. And he doesn't.
No.
He's damn good.
Like,
do I think Stuart Skinner's an elite goaltender in the league? No, I don't. Is he top 10? Probably not. Is he 10 to 15? Yeah. But that exceeds expectations. I
want to go, because I have to go at the very least. Like, if you just want to go recent play of this team, or of Stuart Skinner specifically, in his last 8 games, he's 6-2 with a .925 save percentage. I understand criticism. I'm one of them for the start of the year for Stuart Skinner. I don't believe, because the one thing I will challenge with the salary is I don't view expectations based on salary, I view based on what we're expecting them going into the season. And we expected Stuart Skinner to be the starting goalie of a Stanley Cup winning team to start this season. So I expected a little bit of a better play to start the year. It wasn't there. Now, that's not all on him. That's also on the team defense in front of him.
Exactly.
But I also, to me, it's, if I'm going to give Stuart Skinner credit when he's playing well, I also have to give him criticism when he's not playing well. And I can't just be like, well, team defense was bad to start the year. But now he's great. Team defense didn't change completely that much. But you look at recently, he is 9-25, 6-2, like the Tampa game. If you're criticizing Stuart Skinner after a Tampa game,
man, I was losing my mind.
You're not paying
when I'm hearing
attention.
this stuff.
If you want to look at the Vegas game, and I know he ends up giving 3 goals, and people might want to sit there and go, that third goal, misplayed the puck. Yeah, sure, he misplayed the puck. But he also was brilliant in that game.
Yes.
Right? He was absolutely unbelievable in that game. And Gager said it on Two Guys last week. He only started playing this way kind of after it, but he is probably the best Canadian goaltender playing right now. If you go since the Four Nations, or just a little bit before the Four Nations announcement, he is by far the best Canadian goalie going right now.
Sure.
That there's no reason to comment on Stuart Skinner. At the start of the year, I think it would have been just a little bit below expectations. Now I'm with you. He's above expectations.
Yeah.
Well above. But I mean, you have to look at the big picture. He's
which
not
is
even
the whole year.
supposed to be the starting goaltender of this hockey team right now.
From a few years ago, but as of after, because if he wasn't supposed to be the starting goalie, if we're going to go with that expectation, the Oilers need to go get a goalie this offseason because he's a backup. But he's not. No. He's a starter now. He has shown that he could be a starter based on last season. So he's a full starter. So now to me, the expectation comes, I will judge him based on being a starter.
And a 25-year-old starter where
Absolutely.
I mean, he's still growing and getting better.
Absolutely. But when you're a starter, there's also criticisms that will come when you're giving up 3+ goals a game for multiple games.
Well, still, I mean, if a goaltender has a bad game, and when Stuart Skinner has a bad game, people around here want to lynch him. Well, what happens when Connor McDavid doesn't get a point in a game? Do people want to run Connor McDavid out of town? Like, people have there's 82 games in the regular season. People have good games, people have bad games, people have average games. There's ebbs and flows. People, I mean, you never know what people are dealing with in the NHL too. I mean, maybe they're a little dinged up and they're trying to play through an injury. I mean, you just don't know. But the expectation that Stuart Skinner is going to let in zero or 1 or 2 goals every single game is also not realistic because they're playing against legit good NHL teams. Like if Stuart Skinner lets in 4 goals to the defending Stanley Cup champions tonight, lots of NHL goalies and good ones do the same thing. Like the Rangers are getting lit up right now with the best goaltender in the world. Does he now suck as a goaltender? Like, is he a terrible goaltender? No. The team's not playing good. He maybe isn't playing good. I mean, that happens. There's ebbs and flows, and you just got to roll with it.
And in the end, we'll see what's like. I go back to it doesn't matter about the regular season as much. Show me what Stuart Skinner and this team, the whole team, can do in the playoffs. Yeah. That's where we're judging this team. When June 25th comes next year, and I'm using 25th because it was the day after 24th from this past year, we're going to look back on the Oilers season, and we're not going to care about what happened in October as much. We're not going to care much that happened in November as much. We're going to look at what did the Oilers do in the playoffs. That's what it's going to come down to.
Sure.
That's what we're going to focus on. That's how we're going to evaluate how Stuart Skinner was, how the defense was, how the forwards were. The only thing we had from last year was, well, if the Oilers didn't have a slow start to the season, they might have won had home ice, and home ice would have won them the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
maybe.
I agree.
But we didn't go to specific games and be like, well, this performance on November 10th cost the Oilers home ice. That's where, like, to anyone that was even saying, even when, like, again, we can maybe have a disagreement potentially on how Stuart Skinner was playing at the start of this year. Anyone at the start of the year that said Stuart Skinner needed to be traded and they needed to find it, that was ridiculous.
Yes.
That is just fully ridiculous. We could judge that once April, May, and June comes.
Yeah.
And what he showed last year was at the start of the playoffs, wasn't fully there. But after he went in for Game 6 of Vancouver, from Game 6 and 7 against Vancouver, the series against Dallas and the series against the Panthers, Stuart Skinner was a goalie that could win the Edmonton Oilers Stanley Cup. We saw that.
Yes.
And if you want to dispute that, you weren't watching those hockey games. Yeah. Period.
And there's also ebbs and flows in the playoffs. Stuart Skinner had some struggles at times, and Pickard had to go in and play. Well, you want to know what? If Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl they're not going to. Goaltender is one guy, so your option is that you flip to the other goaltender. So that's okay. He was not at his best. Pickard went in and played a game or two here and there, but Skinner bounced back and got his game back, and the Oilers went to Game 7 of Stanley Cup. If Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl are having a bad game, they're not going to get sat out.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is you need some depth scoring. You need the second or third or fourth line to chip in with a goal or two here if you're going to win the hockey game. Maybe you pull back their ice time a little bit and play the other guys a little bit more or whatever. With goaltenders, it's a little different. But, man, like it's not like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl played like amazing superstars every single game of the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I'm laughing just because of a Rip City step. What? To summarize from Murray, quote, Skinner is not sus.
Thank you.
He's above mid.
You know what?
He's above mid.
With all your, first of all, I feel like everybody in the PJ text line, they all agree. And it looks like the nasty chat is like, you're woken up a lot of us.
Oh, people want this as an SD rant again.
Yeah, this is unreal. Very good.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Last year at this time, he had his Skinner rant that nominated him for an EST. He was one of our finalists. So he's back in the conversation.
Back in the conversation. I love it. Yeah. I don't know. It's really frustrating. Like a 2-1 win against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who's really good. And people are like, why are people having a conversation about Stuart Skinner in that game? Stuart Skinner, you should be talking about how awesome he played. They won 2-1. Oh, but he let in that shitty goal. Oh my God. Guess what? NHL players score goals.
Wow.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
All eyes on Stu tonight now, hey?
Oh, man.
Jay Milne in the nasty chat, or on the Paris Jewelers inbox. Go off, Murray. That's what he goes in there. There's a few other ones in there that I'll have to read a little bit later. When Tommy's not here, I always do a poor job of going into the Paris Jewelers inbox.
Well,
Yeah, Tommy's good at
lives
the
on
DJ.
it.
Well, he
lives
does
on
that
it,
one, and I do the YouTube chat.
And yeah,
like, that's
we
how
do
we
the.
balance.
I try my best to do
okay.
both.
Yeah, so that's where like when when
Yeah.
he's not here, then I realize, oh yeah, I'm not. I need to do better at that.
So I have really no notes, so I can like refer back to PJ inbox as well. As well as going to YouTube. Usually,
I
I
always
will
keep
be.
bring back the notes.
I could still go.
Keep the notes. We got one person with
I
notes.
could fire up
I've
my
written no notes.
I'm so
My nasty
unprepared.
chat on my phone too. I have it because of the VIP golf show, but I'm not going to go look in the nasty chat right now.
Murray Skinner rant 2. Electric Boogaloo from VR Montenegro.
Oh,
VR was some great.
Well,
comments
let's
there.
hope they win, or like if they win today, man.
you're going to be bouncing off the
I'm
walls,
gonna
aren't
be
you?
buzzing.
Well, there's
Yeah,
how many
good.
games
The rest
left
of the
until the
time.
Oilers break? There's not a lot
Yeah, there's not a lot, but
because they've got Florida tonight. They got Boston on Thursday. They got San Jose Saturday, Ottawa on Sunday. Back-to-back games, but you look at that like. That's the Minnesota, Vegas, Florida is the tough. Well, Tampa, Minnesota, Vegas, Florida is the tough part, and then you go Boston, San Jose, Ottawa. Like there's some winnable games they're going into. A night they get a week off for Christmas.
Are they the only team that does?
I don't know because usually teams play close like to the 23rd,
Yeah.
and then teams are usually back till the 26th. I'm used to the Oilers playing like the 26th or the 27th. The reason
Well, they're playing on New Year's Eve too.
it's always hate that
yeah,
game.
they always.
I know. I hear like the press and stuff hates it too.
So the Monday there's a bunch of games. The Oilers do not play, and then the NHL's back on the Friday, and the Oilers don't play. So I don't know how many teams don't play in that stretch, but the Oilers get another full week off, and they had that like break
Just
in
recently,
November wrap.
which was helpful to them
Absolutely.
because of the recovery of injuries and such.
Well,
Right?
this is a year where like they could also run these guys a tiny bit more because they're going to have the Four Nations break coming up,
Yeah.
and the only players going are Arvidsson if the Oilers can find him, Matthias Ekholm and Connor
Yeah.
McDavid. That's it.
Unless injuries happen. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think if as Hyman's heating up here, I think Hyman might be one of the top, if not the
Hopefully
top
not
guy
for
to,
the Oilers.
to swing it. Yeah, I
Yeah, that's the
disagree
thing.
with
Like,
you.
hopefully not.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
But so like they could go on a little bit of a winning streak, well, a really good winning streak, going into a little break where they could rest, recover, and then they come out and it's a big game against LA and then a game against Anaheim in back-to-back days. But they've got a nice little stretch coming up here. The Oilers one of only 3 games tonight. Actually, Road Warriors brought to you by AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers, custom manufacturing of heavy haul trailers for mining, oil and gas equipment, highway transportation, quality, innovation, integrity, trusted by the leaders in the heavy transport industry. I'm awful today. Get another road of peace of mind for your large loads. AccuSteel.ca. That's a little bit better.
Yeah, I should have had thicker paper when I threw that up.
Panthers in town to take on the Oilers. That game tonight, Amazon Prime. So you only get it on Amazon Prime. You aren't getting it on Sportsnet. You're not getting it. It's Amazon Prime. We've already gone through this for a few games this year, people. But Amazon Prime tonight. 2 other games. Capitals on the road against the Stars. The Avs are in Vancouver to take on the Canucks. We also got 2 games in the NFL I want to quickly mention. You got the Bears in Minnesota to take on the Vikings, while the Falcons are in Vegas to battle the Raiders. It's one of those doubleheader
Does
Monday
anyone want
nighters.
to watch either of those
Not
games?
unless you have fantasy. Both those games
Those are
boring.
Duds, yeah.
I don't know. Anytime there's a good divisional rivalry, like Bears-Vikings, the Bears have a chance to hurt the Vikings a little bit here because the Vikings are only at 2 losses.
Bears are
-7, I believe, for Vikings.
awful right now.
I know,
Yeah.
but the Vikings are, because of the Lions lost to the Bills, the Vikings win today. They're tied with Detroit for the top in the NFC North.
What?
But the Lions would have the tiebreaker because they beat them the first time. I don't think they've
Lions
played
are
twice.
good. I really like the Lions.
Right, but so this sets up a very interesting battle here because if the Vikings get this win, they're tied. The Lions get the Bears next week. They get the 49ers the week after. Then they get the Vikings. The Vikings have, after today, they get the Bears tonight. They get the Seahawks next week. They get the Packers the week after, which would be difficult. Then they get the Lions. But if the Vikings can stay tied with the Lions or just one game back, all of a sudden, both of those two teams have to play hard on January 5th because the division's on the live, and arguably that's a chance maybe potentially to have the first bye.
Yes, which is huge. Yeah,
and they'll both have to go hard because if the Vikings are one back, if they win that game, I think the first tiebreaker then goes to, it's head to head. If they split that, then I think it goes to points for
and against. Yeah.
So, and the Lions only won by 2.
Oh.
So that's why the Vikings really need this game. But if you're the Bears, you could sit there and be like, screw you. You're a division team. We don't care about you. We're going to try to we're going to hurt you. And that's where this game I think is very important because if
it is important.
I would have to say, I think the Vikings maybe lose to the Packers. Let's just do a hypothetical.
Yeah.
They then need this win to then hopefully be at least within a game of the Lions going into the last game of the season. So for Monday night, yes, I actually care about Bears Vikings. The other game, Falcons Raiders. Falcons should roll. Sorry, Raider Jesse.
Tell me this: who do you guys like as a team right now as we're getting closer to playoffs? Vikings or Packers?
Packers.
I like Packers too.
Yeah.
So I don't really like. Yeah, Vikings. I'm not. I don't think the Vikings are. To me, it's Packers or Lions. I mean, I hate to say the Eagles because they're the Eagles, but yeah, I don't really view Minnesota in the mix there. But
Packers were almost a team. They almost went to the Super Bowl last year,
they
right?
were
And Jordan
good.
Love threw a terrible interception at the end of that game.
And they're young still. They were young last year.
If we're
They're
going to
young
Stuart
this year,
Skinner
yeah.
type thing, Jordan Love's young. He's just developing. Actually, who posted it? Somebody posted on Matt LaFleur's record. Like he's actually a really good coach.
Yeah, hard to argue with that.
So,
Packers got Josh Jacobs, so.
is that your boy?
No, but my brother's a huge Packers fan. I could care less, right? But I have to stay in touch with it because it's always in my face.
That's Packers fans, I think.
I
isn't it?
know, the little cheeseheads.
I know, they just they like to yak.
There were
and-
lots of Packers fans
I
yesterday.
know there is.
I was quite surprised.
but
You're
need
talking Seattle.
They should be
fans?
respectful
Seattle?
fans though. They're just too chirpy.
They were loud.
Them
Yeah,
and
they
the,
are.
them and the
and they
Steelers
just-
are the two best traveling fans.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Factually? Interesting.
They have the two best traveling fans.
But
Okay.
I think this is stereotyping, but I think Packers fans are just too arrogant and cocky. Just if you win with respect, and you don't need to run your mouth and yeah, you suck. We suck. Shut up.
AKA Oilers fans.
Yeah.
I don't feel that from Packers fans.
You
personally.
don't?
No.
I'm my family.
But-
Like I said, my family are Packers fans.
They're like that.
They're pretty they're pretty diehard and they're pretty angry if they lose and I have to hear about it. So
You're done
And then if
fantasy.
they win,
I'm
they
done.
let
This
you
is
know.
why I'm bitter about the 2 games today. I'm so bitter. I was looking at my girls' league throughout the weekend, just jealous. Man, Lamar, whoever played against Lamar, sorry for you.
He threw 5 touchdown passes. He had 4 incompletions. He threw more touchdown passes than incomplete passes yesterday. Now
Lamar's
it's the New York
is
Giants. He played against the New York
beauty.
Giants, but still,
Yeah,
he threw
yeah,
5
that's true.
touchdown passes and he had 4 incompletions.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are thinking that Josh Allen is the favorite for MVP over him, and I don't quite get that.
I think Lamar should be MVP. For
So
this
there's
one.
2 reasons
Yeah.
that would go against Lamar. The Bills' record is 1.
Yeah.
The Ravens have lost a couple of games that maybe they shouldn't have. Number 2, Lamar is a 2-time MVP.
Oh, wow.
So, and he won last year. And there are those voters that sit there and go, well, he's won.
Yeah, Dak
Josh
should've
Allen's
won
never
last year.
won.
Dak's numbers were better last year.
And it's the same, I'll agree. Like Dusty will agree with this to a degree. There's sometimes like in the NBA, there's the MVP vote where it's like, oh, this guy LeBron could be the MVP. Through his career could have been the MVP almost every single year, legitimately. But it's LeBron's won. We got to give it to someone else. Steve Nash should be no, it's not. Steve Nash should have been a 3-time MVP. Steve Nash won 2 in a row. And the next year, he should have been the MVP. But there was like, I don't know what the history is. Like, I think maybe MJ, there's like no one that has ever, or like only 1 or 2 players ever have been a 3-time MVP. And it was like, well, you can't give it to the Canadian to be a 3-time MVP. And he won it the last 2 years, so Dirk won it. And Dirk had a great year, but Steve Nash was better. Steve Nash should have been a 3-time MVP. But the voters always sit there and they sit there, well, this guy's won. And I think that's the one thing that also comes up with Lamar is that like, actually, there's a third thing I'll throw in there, but it's he's won 2. He won last year. It's Josh Allen's turn. The other thing he has Derrick Henry.
Yes.
That's the one thing that you can't say Josh Allen has necessarily.
Yes.
So that helps Josh Allen in the conversation.
Yeah.
As well.
Josh
Derrick
Allen's
Henry, the free agent this year
That Jerry Jones didn't want.
That people didn't want and people didn't sign. Like, man, like him and Saquon, well, like unbelievable. They were sitting there in free agency for any team to get. People were thinking,
If you're the New York Giants, you walked from Saquon.
yeah, like
He said, we don't need to negotiate with you. You're good. Have fun. Go away.
yeah, like unbelievable how those two guys have performed.
But I think Josh Allen, like he's a worthy MVP.
Absolutely.
But I think if it is a battle between him and Lamar,
Yeah.
the extra edge he will get is Lamar's 2-time MVP with Derrick Henry.
Is that because of voter fatigue?
Yeah. Like they're ready they want new people. And like, look, we're looking at Josh Allen. We'll sit there like, this guy should be an MVP at some point in his career. Like I stand by the fact, like I hate Coach of the Year awards and stuff. John Cooper has never won Coach of the Year in the NHL.
Wow.
John Cooper is one of the best coaches we have ever seen in hockey, I will say. Like, and in this recent time, he is an amazing coach.
And he didn't play.
He's a lawyer.
Yeah, he didn't play.
But
That's
we
crazy.
look at Coach of the Year and we go, well, what team didn't we expect to do well, did better than expectations? And that's how we award. We don't award it based on who had the best coaching job necessarily, because we don't fully actually understand it, I think. It's more who did better than we expected. And the Lightning, we expect to do well. So John Cooper's not going to be a guy that wins a Jack Adams award.
And Carberry is winning the Jack Adams this year, period, because the Washington Capitals are far exceeding expectations, right? So that's almost a done deal already.
I'm blanking on the head coach of the Vikings. Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I'm not sure
I think, is it Kevin?
Yeah, he was an offensive coordinator before he was
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell, yeah, he was an
He,
offensive
to
coordinator
me,
before
is
he was
one of
a
the
coach,
favorites
yeah.
to win Coach of the Year in the NFL because absolutely no one expected a single thing from the Vikings this year, especially with the injury to J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah,
And now look, they're fighting for the NFC.
yeah. So
Now that is
deservedly
also
so.
a great coaching job, but we're also looking at it and going, no one is expecting them to do this, and look what they've done.
Yeah,
And that's where it's like the voting, sometimes we don't always look at it properly. And sometimes you, and as voters, you have to look, I'm assuming I've never been a voter, you have to look at that spot to go, okay, when are we going to give this guy his award? There's the Northern Star Award was presented last week, which is the Canadian Athlete of the Year. It has never been awarded to Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid deserves that 1 year.
yep.
Now, he didn't deserve it this year. Summer McIntosh deserved it this year.
Olympic year for sure. Yeah,
But it's like, that's why I'm looking at next year and I'm going, that's the year for him to win it. There's a time he's got to win it.
But he
It's not an
needs the
Olympic
right year too.
Yeah, he needs to play well.
Yeah,
But it's also, okay, that's the year. It's not an Olympic year. It's a Four Nations year.
and how about
Can he go win it? Or it's going to be 2026 where like it's an Olympic year, but he'll be at the Olympics. And it's like, can he win it that year? Because Connor McDavid once in his career needs a Northern Star Award.
well,
So are the
how about
voters
next
doing that with
year-
Josh Allen a little bit
How
too?
about next year if he hoists the Stanley Cup?
Oh, it's over.
And
It's over.
That would be the no Olympic year. That would be perfect.
I will say this. If the Oilers win the Stanley Cup in the next 2 years, I don't know what athlete in Canada could do to take the Northern Star away from Connor McDavid.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because it's a Winter Olympics one too. Like, I don't know what a winner, a different winner, because he would be at the Olympics again too. I'm assuming going to medal. I'm not saying gold, but I'm assuming going to medal.
We need to make sure we get a stud goaltender in there to make sure we win the gold.
The only thing I could see is in 2026, Alphonso Davies does something incredible with Canada soccer. That would be the only thing because it's the World Cup. That's the only thing. They are all of a sudden in the Final Four. Now that's like pie in the sky type thing. That'd be the only thing. Connor McDavid should win the Northern Star in one of the next 2 years.
You're good.
Did Maddie get topped off?
He did. He got a good fill up.
Do you guys think the Chiefs can win playoff games without Mahomes?
How is his injury? I don't think his injury was significant enough to.
There was a video
Yeah,
after the
isn't
game of him limping, but then he got into a car and he was driven off outside the locker room. They're not winning a Super Bowl without Mahomes.
Who's their backup? I don't
Chad
even know.
Henne?
Oh,
Was it? No.
gosh.
No, it wasn't
I
Chad
have no
Henne.
idea.
Who was it?
Yeah,
'Cause I saw him go in yesterday.
You do not win the Super Bowl without your starting quarterback. It doesn't happen.
Really? Okay.
I don't. I actually don't think with Mahomes they're going to. I mean, because they've won so many games. Like their record is whatever it is, 13-1 or whatever it is right now. But they could.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
Oh,
Actually have a decent quarterback.
yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Are they 13-1? Is that what their record is?
Yes.
So 14 games. They could easily be 8-6 right now with some of the the barn burner.
If
lucky
Jay's still
finishes they've
listening, he
got.
can message in better because he's talked about them being the worst 13-1 team ever.
Yeah.
They barely
would
beat
probably
the
agree.
Bengals. There was a PI call. The Ravens, there was a toe at the end in the end zone that would have at least forced overtime. Raiders game was the fumble. The Broncos game was the blocked field goal. Am I missing anyone?
Yeah. Like you.
So that's at least 4. So that's a 5 losses. We're taking away 4. So that's, was it 9-5?
Yeah. You should be licking your chops if you get to play Kansas City in the playoffs.
The flip side though is
Interesting.
they're skating through the regular season because they know they'll turn it on in the playoffs.
A lot of pressure too, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Is there really that switch?
Jay did text you going Carson Wentz. It's a little behind, so maybe he'll text me for
Yeah,
the other
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
Hi Jay, see you soon.
Carson Wentz. Yeah. He's a solid car, but you know what?
Wentz could
he's
win you a
not.
playoff game. Wentz
They're
with
not
that team
beating the
could go win you a
Buffalo
playoff
Bills with
game.
Carson Wentz
But you're
at
not
quarterback.
you're not winning the Super Bowl.
No.
You're not beating
Baltimore
Buffalo
Ravens.
Yeah,
and
you're
Detroit back-to-back games.
No.
Let's say. Not with Carson Wentz.
No.
But imagine if that's what they do. How
then-
crappy would that
then
be?
you
How
put-
awful would that be for everyone else?
So bad.
It's not even Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's the Chiefs winning with Carson Wentz.
Oh,
What's going on
that
here?
makes me angry
If that
just to
happens,
think about that.
then you put Mike Holmgren on a frickin' like
Andy Reid.
Oh, sorry, Andy Reid. You put and like Mike Holmgren. You put him in a ditch, but you put Andy Reid on a fricking trophy or a pedestal somewhere because that would be just ridiculous.
Don't get mad at me.
Okay.
But I have
That's
said,
hard though.
mad at you.
I am always mad at you. I'm always mad at you.
welcome to my life. We talked about in the past, Lions, Bills is the Super Bowl everyone wants. What we'll get is Chiefs, Eagles.
Yeah, barf.
I have time for a Carson Wentz-led Chiefs taking on the Eagles, though, because it's Wentz against his former team. I have time for that one. Don't come at me too much. But I actually could live with that. If we're going to get Chiefs, Eagles, I don't want Patrick Mahomes as my starting quarterback for that Chiefs team. I want it to be Carson Wentz because he was going to be an MVP the year Nick Foles won that Super Bowl. Wentz got hurt in December. Wentz was an MVP that year. He was playing great, and I'd like to see some of the revenge. Jay has texted me some image. I got to look at this. The worst since 1970. So this is point differential, 13-1 NFL team since the 1970 merger before the Detroit Lions game. So I'm assuming that's before last night's game. They have the worst point differential. They are just over 50. I can't read this chart. The best was the 91 Washington at the time Redskins, who had like almost a 250 point differential. Of more recent teams, the Eagles of 22, which lost to the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, they had almost 150 total point differential. Again, the Chiefs are at about a 70, I think, looking at this chart. So they are the worst since 1970 of point differential of a 13-1 NFL team. The thing I will say, though, is I'll actually... Reed brought it up on the Reed and Jay show, Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne last week. He put it in a word that I thought was really well said, is the Chiefs, they're good enough to put themselves in a position to win. That's all you can ask for if you're that good of a team. They're
that's
good
fair.
enough that they put themselves in positions to win every single game.
But they're well coached. I mean, I think that's a big part of it.
Well, with that, Okay, this is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada's storage experts. More than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. Right now, 75% off 8 weeks on 5x10 units. That offer ends Christmas Day. 75% off 8 weeks. 5x10 units.
Excuse me?
Sentinel.ca. I am awful today on throwing that.
Okay, it's my
Matt,
day.
Jasmine, Murray with you here. Okay, Andy Reid, depending on how many more Super Bowl wins he has, he might now be able to stake the claim of greatest of all time for NFL coaches. Right now, who has that claim is Bill Belichick, who's only 13 or 18 away from Don Shula for the most
And he
NFL
goes
wins
and
ever.
coaches North
But he's
Carolina.
going to North Carolina.
Hero all of a sudden.
And on this, there's reports
Yeah.
from this weekend is his camp apparently approached the Jets to see if they would be interested
I
in the
saw
Jets
that.
taking him on as a head coach. It seems like Bill Belichick got the message from the NFL that no one was going to hire him this coaching cycle. So he was forced to go to college.
Well, and help his son out because that deal includes his son taking over as a head coach in whatever it is.
2 years.
2 years. Like, are
Take care
you
of your
kidding
fam.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah,
what
Nepo
is North
baby, eh?
Carolina thinking?
Yeah.
Like,
What are they thinking?
Well,
You just brought in Bill Belichick as your coach.
yeah, but
if
then
you're North
but you're
Carolina, you do the
committing-
hell out of that.
You're committing to his kid as a coach after that. Is his kid is not Bill Belichick?
How long are you committing to his son afterwards?
Well, I don't know.
I will take Bill.
You?
If I'm North Carolina in the ACC, who have actually been a decent program the last couple of years, not a top program, but they've been a decent program under Mac Brown. I will take Bill Belichick for 2 years and get the money I can to be like, everyone's going to pay attention to what Bill Belichick's doing.
Yes.
To have his son take over for 1 year and then I'll fire his ass.
If that's what
I don't know what
what's
the full
agreed
contract
to,
is,
yeah.
but I will gladly take his son for 1 year, knowing, let's suffer through a year and then let's play the buyout and fire him. I don't know if you saw it's a fascinating contract UNC signed. It's a $10 million buyout, I think. You need to go leave for a second?
Yeah, my pants are going to like burst.
Oh my
Go
gosh.
for
I
it.
told you guys, Christmas is killing me.
You don't have to follow it. Like, go do what you need, Jasmine. I will rant about Bill Belichick. Oh, David Bunting is here. Incredible. Jump on in. Do you want to talk about Bill Belichick and UNC? Do you have any thoughts on this?
We have to shoot. We have to shoot
You got
video.
time. You got time. You got like 10 minutes.
Whoa.
And chairs
what
do that.
is
Sorry.
that?
Damon, good to see you. I don't know if you guys know Murray, Damon,
Yeah,
Murray.
we've met before a
bet.
time or
Good to
two.
see you.
Yeah, you
Two
too.
Good
How are
looking
you?
guys over here. Look at this.
So Belichick,
Belichick to UNC.
he didn't go to the Jags. So go to UNC. All you need.
You didn't want him at the Jags?
No.
You're a Jags fan?
Yeah.
You admit that?
Since day one, though, so I can't admit it.
This,
Okay, yeah, you can
respect to him, Jags
Yeah.
fan, Sacramento Kings fan. Like,
Yeah.
and not, like the beam, they just got good. Kings fan.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been tough. We've had some nice years, but when it came out that they were going to be sniffing around,
You wouldn't want Bill Belichick with Jacksonville?
I
guy
don't think I
wins.
would.
So
He
what
does.
happened though? Because Trevor Lawrence took the team and elevated the team, and then all of a sudden the wheels fell off again. Like what happened there?
So last year he played half the year injured. Knee, shoulder, concussion. The problem was there was about 2-3 games he should not have played.
Because he was
the
that
problem.
injured, yeah.
And he was that bad
Okay, but this
because
year
he couldn't throw. And then this year, same thing, injured. But too many changes. I mean, bringing in Nilsson as a defensive coordinator, I thought was great. But nobody was buying in. And I mean, everybody has injuries. We had a lot of injuries, but you can't blame it on. That's the NFL. This has been a crazy year for injuries, and a lot of teams are still winning.
Dallas Cowboys, haha.
Yeah, go figure, right?
Who
Unbelievable.
yesterday went against the Panthers, and the Panthers were favored going into that game,
Yeah,
which I couldn't believe because the Panthers are not good.
yeah.
But nobody's playing for Dallas. I mean, man. I mean, yeah. The injury. I mean, in the NFL, and I've talked about this before. In the NFL, it's a short season. It's not 82 games like hockey, 162 games like baseball. If you get hurt, if you lose 2, 3, 4, 5, or in the Cowboys' case, like 15 guys to significant injuries, you can't win. You're done.
It's true, and
Yeah.
when they're injured
Yeah.
because
That's what happens to teams.
they want to get back in. It's not basketball.
Yeah.
It's like, is that a spasm? I gotta sit.
Yeah.
right? So I mean, there's been some pretty big injuries. But even Lawrence, did you see that headshot he took 2 weeks ago?
Oh,
It was nasty.
Like it's just,
that
I'm like,
was
for the
just
love,
awful.
Can he just play a game? But yeah, so it's just been a comedy of errors, and I thought Peterson was going to be the savior, and here we are. But
well, we talked about it on the show last week because I was saying, like, listen, if I was on that team and I saw my teammate do that to Trevor Lawrence and the whole team's jumping on him and pounding on him, I am taking my time to wander on in there.
That mic's not turned up or
I don't
anything.
need to talk.
Yeah.
You really want to hear me?
I'm out right away.
Yeah, I'm taking my time to wander in there and stop it because I'm okay with my guy getting pummeled for doing something so stupid.
Yeah,
like
repeat
that's
offender,
crazy.
can't stick with the team.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And then even the Peterson was taken heat. How could you let your teammates do that? Like try to like jump on him and beat him down. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Like, did you just see what happened?
He deserved a beat down.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the few times that I've ever seen it in football. Where like in hockey, that dirty hit happens. Everyone's
it's game
in.
on right now. Yeah.
know.
But football, you don't see that as much. And
Yeah.
Jacksonville
But you
took
don't see
exception
a
to
hit
that.
like
No.
that every day either. That was not
scary.
cool.
Well, even
Not
Ekholm's hit on Saturday, right? Like it's when Eichel threw him into the boards. It's just like he knew it was coming. But I'm like, just how would you not go to the defense of your teammate? Like,
How is that not a penalty?
Was he in the box or he was going to the box?
He probably thought he got a penalty,
Yeah.
but then it was, I didn't get a penalty for that? What?
Yeah, someone said he went to or in the box, and the ref's like,
No, you're good.
it's like, oh, okay. I guess it's not a penalty. But
Unbelievable, eh?
anyways,
They're
well,
breaking-
I don't want to
stuff.
know what happened there.
breaking
Some loud
stuff.
noise. I don't know if you heard
was
that,
that?
noise. I don't know.
Nothing.
When I hear noises in the hangout,
along.
I get worried, but I'm like, I'll deal with that at 11 o'clock. Last week I
Smart.
came out and the fixture was just hanging. So it was like,
really?
"Okay." So yeah,
They're
so
doing their basketball.
They'd let them go. We actually have games of 21 going on and stuff.
Really?
wow.
You should get in on that.
I should. Let's do it.
Are you good?
Depends who I'm playing.
We need to get you on the hangout. Full,
Let's do it.
or sometime in January or something.
Yeah, it'll be
I'll be
fun.
in touch.
Yeah, so we're gonna shoot a video with Dusty. So starting, what day is it? Monday.
Today's Monday.
So tomorrow we're starting I do an annual 7 days of giveaway. So there's actually going to be some pretty cool stuff. So EST will be doing, I think, our day 5, which might be Friday or Saturday. I don't remember, but we'll be giving away pair of Oilers tickets, lower bowl, to a game in the new year. And couple plugs. The last is going to be a dinner for I don't know how many, but it's worth it at the Kaganshire Park. So it's a pretty awesome night out. And then From Another, have you guys been to that store on White Ave?
No.
So they do like vintage wear and sneakers and that type of thing.
I think Rymai from Whale and Wolf shops there. I think.
It's
You're not even in camera.
yeah,
I'll put you in.
yeah,
your
it's
camera.
amazing. So shout out From Another, do your Christmas shopping, but they're going to be giving away pair of 3 sneakers, Nikes, Dunks like the Pandas and high tops and hoodies and
Popular. Pandas go with everything.
they do.
Sorry.
So anyways,
Your mic's not on, so please use.
so I'll go shoot the video, but that's a plug for it. So all you have to do is like follow, for example, EST, like whatever, follow my page, whatever, and then
Which
you're
is?
in. So
Do you know it off the
Damon
top of your
Bunting
head?
Real estate.
There we go. I was gonna have to
There
pull it
you
up
go.
there.
You know your own website. Wow, good for you.
I'm well. That's actually social media. It is DamonBunting.com. I better remember that.
Yeah.
The website's the one you got to for sure know.
That one
The
for
socials
sure.
can be tough because there's different accounts and some like for EST we have a different Twitter than Instagram because
Right.
Twitter
Which is
doesn't let
silly.
us. Well, Twitter doesn't let us do Edmonton Sports Talk. It's too many characters.
Oh.
So we went with Yeg Sports Talk, but I want Edmonton Sports Talk because we're Edmonton Sports Talk. So for anyone I could get Edmonton Sports Talk for, I got us Edmonton Sports Talk.
Okay. I mean,
So that's why we have different ones. So it's like, and sometimes if you get one, somebody else took it from you. So that's why sometimes
Right.
I understand that they could be forgotten. But the website, you got to remember your website, no matter what business you are.
DamonBunting.com.
I will let you go and record the video. Good
Okay.
seeing you.
Take care, everybody.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You can have your spot back.
Oh, thank
You need it because
Sorry.
the
Thank
camera.
you for tag teaming in here.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go wreck someone in 21.
Do it. Do it. There are very specific rules that Reed Wilkins has curated. I will throw that out there.
Really?
So it's a different type of 21. There's a 3-point line.
Let's do it. Okay, guys, have a good day.
You too.
There's Damon Bunting.
Well, the hangout is the hangout, eh? I mean, it's
That's the point of the hangout.
exactly.
You're
It was
supposed
meant to be.
able to come and go. You left your wine over here, Jasmine.
Oh,
Do you mind
better go get
my juice? Do you mind?
juice, yeah.
Yeah.
Red juice.
At a stretch. I'm
my
all
red lips.
the camera. Somebody messed with my camera last week and I didn't adjust it accordingly because I only needed 3 people. So I couldn't, when I zoomed out, I couldn't get you in it because they turned it too far. So, but you're back.
But I'm back.
We didn't actually really get to Bill Belichick at UNC, but I'm fascinated by this because, like,
Is he a recruiter? In college football, you need to be a recruiter. Is Bill
Wow.
Belichick a recruiter?
no. So there's a change that's happened in college football because of the NIL deals.
Oh, that's a good point.
So now the coach can be the coach, and they can hire. And teams are starting to go hire GMs, and the GMs recruiting people.
UNC did, yeah.
And UNC's going to hire the recruiters. UNC's committed more money for NIL deals to pay players. I think they went from like 2 million or something to 20 million. So Bill Belichick doesn't have to go recruit. He has to just go coach. And if I'm a prospective like quarterback that has NFL aspirations, I want Bill Belichick coaching me.
Yep, that makes sense.
People are watching UNC, but I'm like fascinated because UNC, like you lose 2 games in your UNC, you're not going to the playoffs.
Sure.
Is Bill Belichick going to coach the Gasparilla Bowl?
What's their record?
Is he coaching
right
the
now?
Duke's Mayo Bowl, where if they win the Duke's Mayo Bowl, he's dunked with mayo?
What's their record right now? Because I mean, he's inheriting something.
It's actually they've been decent.
What's decent? What's their record?
Mac Brown took over that program a couple years ago.
Why did they fire Mac Brown? Because they were going to.
I think they were expecting a little bit better.
Okay.
I was a little surprised about it. Mac Brown's only a year older than Bill Belichick, so I can't say that's because of his age. Let me find the ACC here. UNC was terrible in conference. They were 6-6 this year.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he's not inheriting much, but I mean, there's also the transfer.
But that's where it changes. You could transfer. He could rebuild that offseason
yeah, I
in
know.
like that team
Which
in 2
sucks.
weeks.
I hate that about college football. I mean, the kids just come and go. If you commit to a school, commit to a school. And
The
stay
issue with the
there.
transfer portal I have is that you could transfer right now, and there's still bowl games to be played. And there was a game coming up. Army's supposed to take on. I forgot which program it is. I think it was
Army's-
Marshall. Army was supposed to take on Marshall, but Marshall's head coach moved somewhere else. And because of that, a bunch of players left the transfer portal that they couldn't field a team for this game.
Oh, that's so
So
stupid.
they weren't going to be able to play Army in their bowl game. Luckily, I think it was Louisiana State or is it Louisiana Tech? A school from Louisiana stepped up and they're actually going to now play Army to keep that bowl game going. But I'm all for the transfer portal. I'm all for players leaving. But I think the portal should end after bowl season when these games are done, when your season's done.
Well,
then move on.
But the bowl games are getting so ridiculous anyways, because if the guys are saying, you know what, I'm going to go in the draft, I'm not going to play in the game. Like, there's so many guys that don't even play in the bowl games. Because they're...
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
Well, but now that's kind of gone because those bigger players are generally going to play for the bigger schools who are now going to be in the playoffs.
Wow.
And the playoffs will matter.
right. But there's still guys on lesser schools that aren't in the playoffs that are going to not play in the bowl game. So it's, I don't know. I don't love what's going on in college football right now.
We had our first 2 bowl games that took place this past weekend. Why am I not seeing the second game on here? We had Jackson State beat South Carolina State 28-7 in the Celebration Bowl. There was another bowl game, but why am I not seeing it on my phone?
Lucas wanted me to ask you a question. He asked me or Murray to ask you. He called you Merman. I like that.
That's one of my nicknames that I've
Sick
always had.
name.
Merman.
Merman.
All my hockey boys used to call me, hey, Merman.
Luke's 2-0 against me right now in our college bowl picks.
Do you mind if I ask you, or do you want to like finish up?
I don't want to. I have nothing else to say, but I don't want this asked.
May I?
Like, you have to, but damn it, I'm
Can
scared.
one of you ask Maddie how he did during the first weekend
Yeah.
of college
Yeah.
football
0-2.
pick'ems? And who is he taking for the Miami Beach Bowl? I'm taking Memphis.
I'm 0-2. He picked the first. We
Get
could
better.
pick the same
Get better.
teams, but he picked 2 different teams than me, and he was right. He's 2-0 to start. I'm 0-2. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate that. Love you too. Yeah, awesome. Rub it in.
Okay.
He said which one, by the way? The Miami Bowl?
Yeah.
What's the Miami Bowl? When's the Miami Bowl?
What is the Miami Bowl?
Yeah.
when's
It's
the
a Miami Beach Bowl.
So I'm looking for the Miami Beach Bowl now. Mm-hmm. Now I got to find the Miami Beach Bowl.
Murray really got like 10 minutes left.
I know. So I want to, well, he's looking for the Miami Beach Bowl.
Yes.
I want to get some insight from you guys and the Nasties on my Chicago Blackhawks for a second.
Didn't they win?
Yeah, we
the
won
other day?
yesterday.
Oh, by a
But-
lot, right?
No, it was a late empty net goal. But
Oh, okay.
here's the Chicago Blackhawks are tied for last place in the NHL right now. But let me throw out some stats. They've played 31 games. In 30 of the 31 games, they've either been at some point in the third period, they've either been winning, tied, or down by only one goal. In 30 of 31 games, okay?
Okay.
They have scored first in more games than any team in the NHL so far this year. Okay? Their goaltenders' stats, their number one and number two goaltender. Well, their number two goals are supposed to be Laurent Brossoit, but he's been hurt all year. but both Arvid Soderblom and Peter Mrazek, their goals against average and their save percentage are well above average in the NHL. Their power play is above average in the NHL. Their penalty kill is actually number 3 in the entire NHL. I mean, I could go on with some of these stats, but
Are you telling them to play worse?
but they're
tank it?
last place in the NHL when they have so many things that are like well above average, or like I said, I mean, scored first. I mean, when you score first in the NHL, you win a lot of hockey games.
Yes.
Chicago scored first more than any team in the NHL.
So be happy about your rebuild.
Oh, I am happy about the rebuild,
Right?
but I mean,
There's
it's
so
a
many
little frustrating.
positives here.
But I'd actually like to stay at the bottom for just this year and get one more stud forward,
Yes.
and then I mean, because the Blackhawks are going to be good. We got so many good players.
Again, they
coming
will
up, but
be. Must be nice living in that world.
No, but it's still crazy that they're last place in the NHL when there's all the metrics are so positive, except for scoring. They can't score goals. That's the issue. But I don't know if someone can tell me something that's even, I don't know, because we fired a coach and did something different. But I mean, and that's what's different with the new coach is what you were talking about earlier. Change the system so the players are having more fun and playing a more aggressive offense and stuff like that. But I don't know. The metrics of the Blackhawks are actually so good, but they almost lose every game. It's crazy.
So I don't have anything on the Blackhawks, but I do have history of the Miami Beach Bowl.
Okay,
The Miami
what is
Beach
it?
Bowl ended in 2016, and they moved to Texas, and now it's the Frisco Bowl, which is now sponsored by Scooter's Coffee. So it's the Scooter's Coffee Frisco Bowl that will take place tomorrow between Memphis and West Virginia. And that's the game Lucas is talking about.
Okay.
Memphis is 10-2. They're 25 in the nation, taking on West Virginia 6-6. I'm taking Memphis. I don't know I can't remember what he picked.
Well, he said Memphis too.
Did
I
he?
think.
So we're equal for that game.
Yeah, because why would you take a 6-6 team against a 10-2?
Yeah,
team? It doesn't make any
I'll take
sense.
Memphis over West Virginia in that one. West Virginia having a new head coach, actually a former coach, I believe it's Rich Rod being re-signed. I know a lot about college football.
We know.
It's great. I follow along really well.
I'm trying my
I think
best.
Luke might know more than me now, but it's fun following college football.
Why?
So, because it's to me more enjoyable than the NFL.
Whoa.
The NFL is my third
Whoa.
favorite football league.
Nah, people are
The
college
CFL
crazy.
is my favorite football league in the world.
We
by
know.
Far.
You know what?
The NCAA is better football to me than the NFL right now in terms of entertainment.
Monday, the three of us and Tommy G talked about the CFL for an hour and 15 minutes in the middle of winter on the Hangout. We didn't even talk about it today.
Right behind Trey. Trey's right behind you.
Hey, Trey.
He's on the wall. Gavin's. He's over here somewhere. I think that's Gavin Cobb right there.
I
Have you
believe you
signed
guys
the wall?
have.
Yeah, I signed the wall.
Oh, yeah, it's above you.
Yes,
Yep.
that's why I signed it right above my chair.
Get winning, and I'll be in that discussion
But it's there's nothing else to talk about with the Canadian Football League outside of we need a schedule this week and sign Niles Morgan before Christmas, and this is a great first year.
But
or like end of the
rumors
year.
are starting to fly that Niles isn't going to sign with Edmonton.
Really?
But I don't like that. I hope.
Because he's still in town.
Well, I hope that the guys can convince him that that's the right decision. I think it's the right decision.
I will say this about middle linebacker. More than other, like it's an important position, but it is a replaceable important position.
Yeah, but Niles Morgan has been here for a while, and it's just the corner's starting to turn.
I fully agree with that, and I would
it?
like to see him sign.
Yes.
But I will say this, and especially when you look at free agency lists often, you can replace a middle linebacker easier, or you can go find a player from the States to replace that middle linebacker easier. And this franchise has done a good job of that because there's been like JC shared or just a linebacking core in general. Dion Lacey, Kenny Ladler, they find Niles Morgan. They could replace him. I don't like it, the fact that you're saying that, but it doesn't alarm me as much.
Okay, so I know we're probably running out of time.
We've got 2 minutes.
I have something to say before we end it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
2 minutes.
the number one overall pick that we picked last year is a linebacker.
Joel DeBlanco.
Where might he fit into the future?
Maybe he's a replacement there.
Maybe that's why they're not. Maybe that's why it might not happen because they're just thinking they're going to plug DeBlanco into that spot.
And again, I'll go back to if I want Niles Morgan signed, but if there's of a position that I think you could go replace rather quickly, middle linebacker is one of those.
All right,
Jasmine?
what you got, Jasmine?
Okay, I watched Gladiator 2 this weekend. I was thinking about you.
Are you not entertained? Did they pull that line out?
No, of course they didn't. That was from the first movie.
Come on. You got to pull that out.
Gladiator 2 was unreal.
Was it?
It was such a good movie. You don't really need to watch the first one.
So I could just go watch Gladiator 2.
Yes, you can.
I won't. Sorry.
I will fight you right now.
Oh,
Maddie
okay,
just
drop
pissed-
down. You two
I'm
right
in a
here.
good
I'm the
vibe.
referee.
Trying to tell you about this movie. Excited about like the Oilers, Florida today. Okay, here's the thing. That movie was so good. So Murray, I recommend everybody go out and watch it. It's so good in the theater. You don't need to watch the first one. There are a little bit of flashbacks, but they kind of give you a good overview right off the bat. But man, I have not seen such an amazing movie that's that long in like so long. Like you just don't even know it's 2.5 hours. It's just the flow is there. It's so good.
Good
The
to know.
violence,
I am not a
the
movie
story,
guy.
the
I don't even know
Have you
acting.
seen Gladiator?
No.
Perfect.
You know what? How about 2v1?
We've got the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. That gets going at 5:30 today because the Oiler game against the Panthers is also 6:30. Reminder, it's a 6:30 game here in Edmonton.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is.
bit
I might
earlier.
actually get to
On
watch a
Prime.
little bit of it.
Get your
On
counts ready.
Prime. Thank you, Jasmine. So it's a little bit earlier. So we've got the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. 5:30 gets you set, which means a little bit of a shorter Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne.
Let's
3 to
go
5:30.
Oilers.
EST afternoons, Hernan and Gager. We got the Oil Stream with Tommy and Dusty. But up next, it is the Lock Shop. Dusty and Huss. They'll recap the weekend, look to the Monday Nighter as well as the NHL. Murray, this is always wonderful. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you and your family.
Merry Christmas,
Jasmine,
happy
we will see you later
holidays.
this week,
everyone.
so
Yeah, you as
we'll
well.
have more to come.
Yes. I'm in on Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah, so-
And next Monday.
And next Monday, you guys are going to see a lot of me.
You're stuck with a lot of me.
Boo.
Thanks for tuning into the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. On behalf of Jasmine, Murray, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for
Let's
Edmonton
go
Sports.
Oilers!
Don't go anywhere else.
Let's go Blackhawks.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First time guest, long time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,